guy I'm dating gatekeeped me about my hobbies and career. I'm feeling embarrassed. The person I'm dating together 3 months, I'll call him Don, recently invited me out to dinner to meet some of his co-workers. He first red flag was he invited everyone out to a Hooters and said they chose that restaurant because it's close to where they work and is easy to get to, which is true, but there are several other restaurants nearby that offer better food and a better atmosphere. Before he invited me out to dinner, he half-joked that his co-workers, all of them are male, didn't believe that he was dating a hot girl that's into the same hobbies as them. There are hobbies that are considered to be primarily for men. I was a little irked at that comment, but he said he was just joking around. This pretty much became the catchphrase for the men that night. When everyone arrived at the restaurant, Don and his co-workers were making comments about the girls that worked there and their physical appearances. This made me a little uncomfortable, but I didn't say anything. Once everyone ordered their food, Ring, his friends, started to quiz me about my interests. Many of them share the same male-dominated hobbies I'm interested in. They more or less just tried to see if I knew facts about the hobby, as opposed to asking me questions about what I like, don't like, or what I'm currently doing in said hobby. For example, if my hobby was American history, one of them would ask an esoteric question like, "Oh, so you like American history? How many $1 bills are currently in circulation? How old is the French Broad River?" I also work as a junior automation engineer at a startup software company. I haven't been writing code that long, as I was working in QA prior and learned how to code while I was in that position. I'm really green, and I know I still have a lot to learn. The projects I'm working on are small, and I'm getting help at work. All of his friends are senior-level software engineers who were quizzing me about my work and trying to see how much I actually know. They were asking about advanced things I did not know about. They were asking me technical questions that don't even apply to my job, but they were all smiling and laughing, and would frequently say something like, "Oh, we're just kidding." At one point I felt like I was at some weird meeting and was taking one question at a time from each guy at the table. I know I stopped being smiling at some point, and just emotionlessly answered their questions. I think one of them became self-aware because he just looked down at his phone for the rest of the evening, didn't ask me anything else, and just looked uncomfortable. When they weren't asking pointed questions at me, they were talking to each other and ignoring me. I've been interrupted, but I tried to include my thoughts in the subject, or not at me and look away at someone else. I should mention all of these guys are 5 to 10 years older than me. I'm 25, the guy I'm dating is 29, and his co-workers are in their early mid-30s. I don't have as much experience as they do. Part of me was hoping I could meet peers who could have helped guide me or answer my questions about their careers. Instead, one of them literally asked me to give him a SQL query. They all kept saying they were just kidding around or just joking and laughing about it, but it was so cringy. Don was sitting beside me and wasn't stopping this behavior from his coworkers. He was coaching me, I guess, saying things like, "Oh, you know this one," or "Come on, you got this." We talked about this last week. Don also made the comment of, "See, she's really smart too," to one of the guys at the table. That whole night was just awful. He was actually irritated at me because he saw my whole mood change while I was being quizzed by his friends. He said he noticed me having an attitude with his coworkers, and they were just having fun and trying to get to know me, that it was immature of me to have been too obviously annoyed, and that I audibly sighed multiple times when one of his friends spoke to me. I can't stop seeing Don as a super cringy dude now. I thought he was acting ridiculous and seemed more like a 13-year-old boy as opposed to someone who is supposed to be turning 30 in a couple of months. I'm pretty sure I can't go on with a relationship at this point. I don't think this is an overreaction on my part. If I were to break up with him, is it within reason to end a relationship after this event? Everything was going fine before this happened. Now I just feel gross. The dinner happened last night and I haven't returned any of his texts today. I know ghosting is wrong, but I don't want to look at him or speak to him. The thought of him just kind of disgusts me at this point. I've never felt like someone choked me before. I don't know if I'll feel differently in a